All right, welcome back. We are still talking about tourism and boosting the tourism economy in Nigeria. I have some new guests here with me, Fuad Lawal and Fisayo Olayinka Bello. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I mean, I had two guests earlier talking about the same thing. And just to continue with you now, and it was something I think I really want to get your view on regards to fun and, being something we can sell in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking fun in the Dubai way, because Dubai sells fun, but because they have the infrastructure to support it. But there's obviously an energy in Lagos that makes people come here in December, that makes December a thing. But I don't know, January to November, what happens? Is fun enough of a tourism sell for us?
Definitely. I agree with you on that. But one thing that sells more in Nigeria is cultural tourism and religious tourism. I said this.
Religious tourism is doing well.
Yes. Yes.
We need to point that out.
Yes. So one thing people don't know that tourism is very vast. There's educational tourism where people go to the United Kingdom for masters. People go to India for medical tourism and all that. But in Nigeria, what is booming more is cultural tourism and religious tourism. Now, in terms of fun, that is what you call adventure tourism. Yeah. So, and events also come into place, right? So people come to Nigeria in December more because it's the IJBs. I just got back, and people in diaspora. Other time in the year, you see more of business visitors. Yeah. People coming in for business day-to-day. So that's where we come in, travel bloggers. We're trying to increase awareness. So the reason why I actually started creating content and to promote destinations in Nigeria and Africa is because of two things. One, people don't know of these destinations to visit. Two, our narrative is being told wrongly by the international media, so we needed to step in.
Yeah, and correct that notion. Fuad, I was talking with Toki earlier, and she mentioned the tour you guys took. I know you were on that tour as well, which was quite fascinating because I followed this on Twitter. You went around West Africa by road.
Yeah.
Very daring. I was slightly jealous, but I mean, I don't know that I could have done it. But West Africa, there's a few countries who are doing it right, I want to believe. Yes. Gambia always jumps out. Yes. Senegal to an extent. Yes. I don't know if you couldn't have driven to Cape Verde, but Cape Verde is doing quite exciting things there as well. How does Nigeria compare?
So it's very interesting because I'll use the countries as examples. In Ghana, we know that Ghana was super intentional about heritage tourism. And, I mean, expectations doubled, literally. Apparently, according to CNN, they were expecting 500K. 1 million showed up, right? Yeah. In Sierra Leone, the government is increasing spending with tourism to increase tourism quota in their GDP. There's a lot of green tourism there. They have very diverse nature, whether it's even chimpanzees, it's a thing in their country, right? That's their national mascot now. In Gambia's economy, 20% of the economy of the GDP comes from tourism, and it's impressive how Gambia has done it because they were super intentional about it. When the Jamé issue happened a few years back, the first priority that they had was securing their tourists, right? A lot of them are Scandinavian, from the UK and etc. One thing all of them have in common, people that seem to be getting it right, including Senegal, is how intentional they are about it. You see a lot of planning, you see calendars, you see schedules, there are tour buses, there are everything. Another thing all of them have in common is security. It's an interesting fact, not really a fun fact, but an interesting fact that Nigeria is the only country where you do not see... I mean, we understand that white people have the most spending power with tourism, right? Nigeria's tourism is mostly powered by IJGBs, right? People coming back for the holidays. But Nigeria is also the only country in the region where you do not see white people, the people with most likely the most spending power, walking around on the street, right? You see in Gambia, you see them riding bicycles. In Senegal, they're all over the place. Do you understand? In Sierra Leone, it's like they belong there, right? But here, it's that safety. There's that safety problem that if you walk on the sun, it's going to grab you. So there is nothing we can really get right until we fix security. It's going to be difficult, right? Every region in this country, every geopolitical zone in this country has a local conflict that they're dealing with. Do you understand? There's almost always something that everybody has to deal with. In the Northeast, there's bandits, right? And the Northeast, in the Northwest, there's bandits. Northeast, there's Boko Haram. The South, there's militancy. In the Southeast, there is just the fear of kidnapping. Do you understand? in the southwest is as basic as I ran into someone who said he was going to travel to Osun State. And he found out that when he was researching, he found out about Modakeke, Ife, and he was like, yeah, people coming. You get so there's a lot. What's interesting is that as far like resources, Nigeria dwarfs the rest of West Africa like completely. Our population is the population of the rest of West Africa combined. We are more than that. People say, oh yes, like Nigeria's population is over bloated. Minus 50 million, we are still more than the rest of West Africa, right? So there is no intentional effort with making it work. Dirty December has become a phenomenon.
But
right?
It's still so legal.
Exactly.
That's what I wanted to jump in now with you now. I mean, you've gone around the country quite a bit. Is Lagos? Is there too much of Lagos in this conversation now? And I also want to know: is it possible to take this responsibility from the federal government? This talk about security. What government should be doing. Shouldn't the governors be doing a little more with selling their states like Cross River did?
Exactly. Yeah, so I totally agree with you. Lagos is very intentional compared to other 35 states in Nigeria. Last year, we worked with Lagos State Tourism Board on promoting water and tourism on water, basically jets and all that. And that last year, December, they registered 60 billion naira in revenue, just December. So Lagos is quite intentional. What needs to happen is other governors rather, need to also stay woke. They need to learn from Lagos. The past governor in Calabar did a very good job. So yes, I want to point out the fact that even you mentioned you went to Gambia, you saw a lot of white people. Security is an issue, right? This cuts across other countries like Kenya. I was in Kenya 2 months ago, and I was in a particular city called Diani. And I was like, where are the Kenyans? Everybody here is white. What's going on? Am I in Kenya at all?
They're all just tourists.
Yes, they're all tourists.
So security will always be an issue.
And the fact that they are very intentional in promoting. I was invited to Kenya by the Kenya Tourism Board. So they know that they want international visitors from Nigeria to come. So they are inviting people to come and promote their destination. So Nigeria needs to be more intentional to marketing. So yeah.
Well, there's so much I want to talk about, but I'm hearing that we've run out of time again. But I think it's something we'll have to continue talking about as we go forward. But just quickly on a final note now, what do you want to see? I like to talk about 2020 because 2020 was supposed to be the year Nigeria was supposed to become the greatest country on earth. But I don't know, like I said, I don't know whether you know where that document is. What do you want to see going forward? Very quickly, 30 seconds.
Proper information management, like just proper communication. Lagos, for example, next December should have a roster of when people should go out and when people shouldn't go out. It's simply, all the people organizing events. All the places events are happening. Calendars should be a normal thing by now, right? Information is a big deal. Bauchi is doing work, and you just have a calendar, like build a super calendar, and it can begin to now spread all year round. Like, Q1, there's this, Q2, there's this, Q. Information.
Some events from December and puts it in March.
Exactly. So.
Thank you very much, guys.
One thing I want to point out is Lagos. Okay.
Just quickly, one sentence.
All right. One thing I need to point out is Nigeria is doing something better. Right now, it was announced that the president.
Visa free.
Yeah, visa free for all African countries, which is really great, which is going to boost our tourism industry.
So things like that, being very intentional. But thank you very much. We're definitely going to invite you guys back and talk more extensively about this. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, we're talking agriculture. Don't go away.